Well, good afternoon and welcome. I'm Caroline Derby.
And I'm Kaylin Clay. This is Ouachita News. A dynamic duo on campus, Dr. Scott Duvall and Miss Judy Duvall, have served Ouachita in different roles. Ouachita News reporter Joshua Ryan and photojournalist Josh Engel tells the story of the Duvalls.
We all have a favorite professor or staff member at OBU, but one in particular holds dear and near in our hearts, Dr. Scott Duvall. The Ouachita alum attended OBU back in the 1970s and was the graduating class of 1980.
I was a student here in the late 70s, and I came in as a business major. I came to play basketball, actually, but the basketball here was better than it was at my high school, so that sort of faded. I did get a business scholarship. And so my first year, I was just intent on studying hard and buried myself in the books.
Duvall is not a person who slacks off or gives up, but he did realize something his sophomore year.
In my sophomore year, I realized there's life apart from school, so I got a little more social and just really enjoyed it.
The alum soon began to discover his path in life and embrace the opportunities laid before him. While here as a student, Dr. Duvall is the co-chairman of the Baptist Student Union Summer Missions Committee, program director and treasurer of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, chaplain and pledge class president of Beta Beta Social Club, as well as a member of Alpha Chi National Honor Society and Student Senate.
And then toward the end of my time, I met my wife. I was getting ready to go away to grad school, and she was still here, but we started that relationship. And then it was also during that time, as I was in these upper-level business classes, that I just realized I didn't care much about business. So I was sort of called to ministry during that time, and from there went on to seminary.
Duvall also had something to say to current students and graduates who are going through the college experience.
We're all really concerned about doing the right thing and working hard and being disciplined and all that. And so I think doing a few things well would be my best advice to people. Do school and do one other thing or two other things, but not 10 other things like sometimes happens around here.
What can we do as a student body to create an atmosphere that would promote fellowship and community for future generations?
You guys are really good at doing friends. You have good friend groups and you understand the value of friendships. I think it's important to just be connected to a really good church and to do things with it'd probably be a smaller group of people, but make your friends a priority.
What are some opportunities OBU has provided you as a teacher?
Oh, goodness. First of all, in the Pruitt School, we have a Pruitt Endowment, which means I've been able to go on mission trips with students to Israel and Turkey multiple times. Been able to get grants to go different places, whether it be England or I'm going back to Turkey this summer to visit the 7 churches. If you go to the lobby, you'll notice there are 40 or 50 volumes that have been contributed by the Pruitt faculty, and that's because we're so well supported that I don't have to get a second job during the summer. I can take the summer and focus on writing.
Duvall also really appreciated the special opportunities to spiritually pour into students.
I think about the time at OBU, I've had a few small groups with students that have been very meaningful. We spent a year or two together studying scripture and praying together, and that I just will look back on those times as really special times.
So what lasting change has Ouachita had on your life, and how will that last into your future?
I just needed Ouachita to help me kind of find myself. I needed a peaceful place that could just kind of be a rock for a while, and that's what it provided. I had a lot of mentors here, the campus minister at that time. So it's not a perfect place, but it's really a great place to be formed, and then in turn, I hope that's what I've been able to help with my students.
Use it as a growing point and to allow them to kind of grow into who God has made them.
Because you don't show up a blank slate. You've had a lot happen to you, and you've experienced a lot of life, and part of what goes on here is really learning how to process that, in a way that's healthy, and just to kind of understand what it means to be a healthy, follower of Jesus.
For Ouachita News, I'm Joshua Ryan.
Thank you, Josh Engel and Josh Ryan. The Ouachita Student Foundation inducted 58 members into the organization last night. OSF announced they hit their goal of raising $200,000, all for student scholarships. John Merriman, faculty advisor to the student-led group, said that 103 scholarships will be given with the money. Congratulations on a great year and on it being a record-breaking year for OSF. Woofapalooza has been rescheduled and is on the calendar for this Friday. So join in on the fun with spike ball, slacklining, and more. And if outdoor activities are not your thing, come play with dogs from the Clark County Humane Society.
I'm hoping for some good weather for Woofapalooza this Friday. Josh Engel is in studio today. What is the weather forecast for the week, Josh?
Well, everyone, this week is going to be a lot warmer than it's been in a long time. You can see here, we got some 80s. It's really the spring now. We're actually kind of feeling more almost summer-like in terms of temperature. Very arid though, humidity is going to be lower throughout this entire week. However, I would like to point out that Saturday, we've got a slight storm that's actually going to be lasting throughout most of the day. It's not a good thing because that is the day of Tiger Tracks this week. And so for those of you that will be participating, keep your eyes on the skies because it looks like it's going to be some pretty severe weather that day. And there's a chance that things could be affected, in fact, maybe even delayed because of that storm. Really bad timing though, especially since it's just that day and not the rest of the week. Rest of the week though, looking pretty great, honestly. Sun and clouds. You can see we got some mixed clouds here, some partly cloudy, mostly cloudy, and then some sun too. Temperatures will also drop on Sunday after that storm. That's all I have to say today. Otherwise, other than the storm, it's a pretty nice week. So, stats provided by AccuWeather. Back to the desk.
Well, thank you, Josh. It's been an exciting spring for Ouachita athletics with several of our teams doing very well in conference play. Brody Kriegel has our Roar Rundown.
Welcome to the Roar Rundown. I'm Brody Kriegel. Ouachita sports are looking to finish the regular season strong as the end is getting closer in sight, but there is more to what's left than meets the eye. We begin with baseball as the Tigers are riding 6 consecutive in the winning column after a big win against Henderson State on Monday. The Ouachita baseball team erased an early deficit and rallied to win in convincing fashion on Monday night at Majestic Park against its cross-street rival Henderson State University by a final score of 13-4. Monday's game was the first of 5 games between the Tigers and Reddies over the next 3 weeks. The two squads meet again on Tuesday night at HSU's Clydeberry Field. Ouachita opened the scoring in the top of the first inning on an RBI double by Isaac Noel. The Reddies answered with 4 runs in the bottom of the frame to take the lead. Neither team scored in the second before the Tigers broke through for 7 runs in the top of the third inning to take control of the game, highlighted by a grand slam by Jackson Chaney for his team-leading 9th home run of the season. Dustin Bermudez led the Tiger offense with the 3-for-5, 2 RBI performance. Judd Arrington and C.W. Schrader also had multi-hit games with 2 each. The OBU softball team used great defense and timely hitting to take down cross-street rival Henderson State 6-0 in the series finale of the Battle of the Ravine Tuesday afternoon at Sully Anderson Field, as the win snapped a 12-game losing streak for the Tigers. The Tigers opened the game hot, dropping 3 runs on the Reddies in the first inning. Hope Wade led things off by getting a hit by a pitch. Wade would get caught stealing, but Heather Brown then worked a walk to put a runner back on first with 1 out. Aaron Williams then doubled to left center, moving Brown to third. Madison Shoebottom followed Williams' double with a stand-up triple down the right field line to score Brown and Williams and give the Tigers an early 2-0 lead. Shoebottom was brought home by a Callie Jordan RBI groundout that rounded out the scoring for the Tigers' first 3-run inning. Ouachita held Henderson State to just 3 hits across the final 3 innings of play, including a 3-up, 3-down 7th inning, and held on to shut out the Reddies 6-0 and take the final game of the GAC rivalry series. The 6th run in the Tigers' wins were the most since scoring 11 against East Central on March 17th. This was also the first shutout for the Tigers since blanking UAPB on February 12th. The Tigers will look to build on today's success as they head onto the road to take on the nationally ranked Bison of Oklahoma Baptist in a 3-game GAC series beginning Friday evening in Shawnee, Oklahoma. The Tigers' men's and women's track and field teams ran well against Division I and II talent Friday at the Little Rock Invitational, hosted by the University of Arkansas at Little Rock. The women placed 4th out of the 8 teams that competed in the meet. The women also were 2nd among competing Division II teams. including finishing ahead of fellow GAC member Arkansas Tech. The fourth place finish also put the Tigers ahead of Division I Arkansas Pine Bluff. The men's team finished in 6th place, just 10 points out of 5th, and also finished 2nd out of competing D2 teams. Raina Rogers broke the program record in the women's triple jump with a distance of 10.31 meters, breaking the previous record by 3 inches and earning Rogers a top 10 finish in the event. JC McGregor took 2nd place in the women's 800 meter with a time of 2:19.63, just 0.4 seconds out of 1st place. McGregor finished 1st out of Division II runners from Southern Arkansas and Arkansas Tech. Emily Payne placed 2nd in the women's javelin with a distance of 28.02 meters. Xander Neagle placed 4th in the men's 800 meter with a time of 1:58.11, finishing ahead of all other D2 runners and ahead of multiple D1 athletes. Next up, the Track Tigers will split between 2 meets this next weekend. One group will head to Lawrence, Kansas to compete in the Kansas Relays hosted by KU, and another squad will head to Texas A&M Commerce to take part in the East Texas Invitational in Commerce, Texas. If you want to keep up with the latest in Ouachita sports, be sure to visit obutigers.com and tune into the Ouachita Sports Digital Network while also following them on Instagram and Twitter at OSTN Media. That's all for this week's Roar Rundown. I'm Brody Kriegel. Back to you.
Thank you, Brody, and as always, go Tigers. The Ouachita Student Foundation will host its final event of the year this Saturday, Tiger Tracks. Now, as Josh told us earlier, there is a chance of rain, but who doesn't want to play in the rain? This event has been deemed Arkansas's most exciting college weekend, a day filled with fun and games and complete with playing in the mud. All earnings from this day will contribute to student scholarships. For more information, go to www.obu.edu/OSF.
Well, school is winding down for the year.
I can't believe it. Only a few more weeks left.
I mean, it really did fly by,
Yes.
and I don't even know where time went. But that is all we have for today. To stay up to date on daily Ouachita news, follow Ouachita News on Instagram, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel.
We will see you next week with more of the latest Ouachita news.